And so, here we are again. Another thrilling tale of the kobolds. Last time, you had, well, gotten a little bit of some information and more travel around the city of Ythrin. You had found an interesting location where one could, in fact, astral project their image with illusion magic in any location throughout the city. And while this was interesting, you figured you'd leave it be for now, as it had no immediate use, and you did not want to end up like the cultists that were using it previously, as you had gotten the jump on them while they were in the midst of using it. On the way back, you had a revelation of why Avarice and why our patron might be interested in the city, although it might not be known to them. It's possible that if Avarice was to get the information, that the city would go back in time to another age, in long ages past. If the obelisk was activated, she could use that to her patron's advantage. An age where Levistus was never frozen by the Dark Lord Asmodeus. But as you were discussing this possibility, you realized that one of her gargoyles, who was invisible, had tried to retreat, to which you had caught them, but not before you also gained the realization that Avarice also has the spell that Meepo does. Telepathic bond. And so she likely knows the information. And so, despite the fact that Avarice cannot get into the tower from all the vandalism that you've done, to the different parts of the ritual, to the Arcane Octad, it is still something to be concerned about, that she has this information. But, with that in mind, you went back out, got a full night's rest, with the intention of entering the spire of Areolithus to gain his staff of power and prevent its use on the obelisk from anyone who would dare to use it, as well as to gain, hopefully, any dragon-killing weapons that lie within the tower. The main goal that you have for this place. So, kobolds, you awaken without issue. You awoken a very clean night's rest. What do you do?
Personally, I think we should deal with Avarice before we open the thing. You know, because you never know if it's one of those situations where it opens the door for you, or if it just kind of undoes the lock and then everyone can go in.
Villain will kind of start wringing her hands. If I was to hazard a guess, it should only open for those who partake in the ritual. Otherwise, anyone could just rush past. My assumption is that it only lets those who are worthy, she puts up big air quotes with that, worthy in, which I assume is those who perform the ritual. So I don't... That's my assumption.
Can I put out another hypothetical, though?
By all means.
There's been a lot of projecting yourself and ways of touring the city and whatnot. I wouldn't put it past her to have some way of watching us while we do the ritual, if that makes sense. So while it might not open the way for her, we might show her how to do it inadvertently.
That is very clever, Mr. Hawks. I had not considered that.
Yeah, I think we just need to stop putting this off and have it out.
So basically, just go as quickly as possible.
Well, no, it's a kill her as quickly as possible.
That's assuming we can find out where she is.
Wouldn't it just be safe to assume that she would try to jump us as we're activating the ritual to...
I'm not convinced. If only because we have a large power advantage over her. Even with her minions, I think Avarice is smart enough to hold back until we're weakened. And we are fully fresh now. I don't think she would attack us right off the bat. We're too powerful as we are. Which probably would be a good reason why we should jump her, but that does slide the problem of finding her.
I mean, does she have anything on her that I can, like, track down?
Well, there was one thing. Meepo, that spell that you have, does it specify whether it can search for non-magical or magical objects?
Well, I've got locate object, but I've also got locate creature.
Let's see. Well, there is something that she does always carry on her person. That staff that she has, it is a very powerful magical item. I believe it's most commonly known as a Staff of Frost. That could be one way to find her. Other than that, there's nothing on her person that I can think of that would be.
I can just look for her.
You could. Does any spell have any sort of limitations?
Well, spell slots.
Yes, but there are I know there are some divination spells that have difficulties when finding things that are behind thick pieces of stone, lead, or something that blocks the direct path between you.
Running water, that's kind of it.
There is something specific that I'm thinking of, specifically for locate object. If you decided to go down that route, can't locate an object if any thickness of lead, even a thin sheet blocks a direct path. That's also. Let's see. If the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement.
I mean, if I just use a higher level spell slot, I can just find her. And then we don't have to worry about her Staff of Frost or anything like that. I don't know if there's any water flowing through this area, so we should be fine if I just use that.
Very well. Do you wish to try it?
Well, I will, but first I'm gonna do this.
How big across is the city?
The city itself. Sorry, pardon me. Around 2,100 feet across, almost. I'd say around 2,000 feet.
That's not too bad in terms of searching.
So if we started in the museum...
Less than a mile.
Or, like at the center of the city, the locate creature, that's got a
That's a
range
1,000
of
foot
1,000
feet
feet.
range.
So
So with, I can actually use like radius, 1,000 feet. So that'll detect stuff out to like there-ish.
but if we started
Lasts
in the
forever.
middle, then it would detect the entire
Yeah,
area.
if we're in the museum or like the Tower of Abjuration, that'll detect pretty much everything. If we're a little bit, I wonder how high in the air we'd have to be to get around the direct line to the running water.
Shall we just go and try it?
Might as well.
It lasts for a while, so we can move around.
That is true. Let's go to the museum.
Do we need a big Hawks to do this?
One big Hawks coming up. Hawks is now big.
All right, Hawks. I have my supplies restored. You see Villain kind of like stand up and crack her knuckles. Let's do this the easy way, shall we? And she just kind of smacks you on the on the foot, and you will begin to rise up in the air, at your own command.
I was thinking when we do see Villain, I just want to cast silence on her and shut her up so she can't use her spells.
Do you mean Avarice?
Sorry.
I realize that I can sometimes be a bit of a chatterbox, and she'll give you a sly look.
No,
with a smile.
no.
She'll actually give
It's
a bit of a
early
mischievous
morning.
grin
I'm
at
waking
that.
up still.
Of course, I understand. Just, it's fine. I've sometimes mistaken your names, and it's only fair, I think. All is fair play.
You feel right?
I'm feeling a bit under the weather, I think. I think I'm catching something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's a sickness. COVID's called. I think it's sometimes called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might cough every now and again, so forgive me. Don't you feel it? The immersion?
The immersion.
It's gone. It's shattered. Like a piece of icicle falling from the ceiling.
It's all been seamlessly incorporated.
Yeah, as she begins suddenly coughing. You see? But with that said, though, you guys can start making your way. So, do you cast the spell, Meepo?
I sure do. Locate creature, looking for Avarice the tiefling. You sense the direction. As long as you're within. And we'll just follow my tuning fork here.
Alright, so you get a strong pull this direction. In this sort of general direction this way.
By the way, she's probably expecting us.
Yeah. Wherever she is, she's somewhere in this very densely populated area. Or densely urban area, I should say. Population's probably, population's gone. But at one point, it was probably a heavily populated area.
Just think of the housing prices, though.
Oh gosh, I don't want to think about fantasy gridlock. Oh gosh,
It's free real estate.
it's free real estate. I mean, it would be technically if you guys decided to, use the Mythalar. But
all it takes to drop housing prices is to have the entire civilization collapse and everyone die. Who'd
And
call it?
curse the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then bury it under sheets of ice guarded by a goddess.
that's fine.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
This is all an extended housing scam.
I would expect nothing less from Skanak. So, you guys make your way this direction. As you start to fly over the city, you will see that very heavily armed-looking prison complex that you saw before. But you don't feel the pull in that general direction, Meepo. I will say, as you're kind of like giving like a once over this area, kind of giving like a bit of a sweep, roll a perception check, Meepo. Because you're the one concentrating on the spell.
My character sheet's thinking.
Also, dark mode got a lot better, so I'm actually using it for the stream.
Oh, did it get better?
If only because like it's improving its UI. Like the for description only and the locate creature text is red, so it stands out more.
Ah, yes. It is better.
Yeah, it looks quite nice.
Okay, well, I am now ready to roll perception.
11. Okay. You get a general sense that the creature known as Avarice is somewhere near the base of this entryway into the spire. Somewhere near the base.
Alright, this way. Ish. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears open.
You suddenly, as you're kind of like having that feeling, let's see, it says the creature is moving in another direction of its movement. Okay, so this whole time, there has been no specific large-scale movement from the creature that you can tell. She has generally stuck to the same position for most of the time that you've been traveling. So wherever she is, she's staying put, wherever that location may be.
I think she's waiting for us.
Yeah.
Probably setting up a trap.
Yeah. You get to the base of this spire. This long arched stairway. And you don't see her at the base of it. And you feel that sense of yours pushing away, like let's see, around within 5,000. Yeah, it's been within the whole time. Around to you, a little bit to yourself. I'd say the perception check was not high enough to determine exactly what building she might be in, but it's clearly a building that is close by. There are just a lot of buildings near here.
She's inside one of these buildings here.
If that is the case, I can do one better.
Oh, you sure can. Might as well start it off.
Okay. Let me just hang on. Let me move the map for myself here so I can find her token.
Go
Step
get her!
1, locate near vicinity of creature.
This spell is
Step
so
2.
this spell is so
Psychic.
ridiculous. I love it.
It's okay. So there's a picture that I saw a long time ago on Facebook. It was
yeah?
like some alchemist combined locate creature and thunderbolt or call lightning into locate the rogue hiding in the tree and fry him. This is that spell.
This spell has a lot of uses. It's not only that; it's also the vampire killer, like because it can incapacitate a creature, which not many spells can do. It has a lot of fun uses. Okay, so that is a intelligence saving throw. Okay. I need to double check to see if she has something. Okay, she doesn't. Very specific. She can see. Okay, so she can't see you. That is an 18.
It passes.
Okay, so she'll take half as much. Ooh, okay. Still a decent amount.
10.
10. Okay. Okay. Roll roll perception checks, everybody.
This is not one of my talents.
Perception, you say?
Perception, yes.
Perception. I smell fear.
Okay. 13, 12, 14. Okay, so Skanuk, you are the only one who hears this, Skanuk. It's very quiet. It's a muffled shout coming from the building that is most directly south to you. And not only that, but you will see just barely. They rolled pretty well on your stealth, but you just beat them. You see one of the cultists peeking out of a doorway, clearly someone who is meant to be on watch, and they see you, and you see them, and they dart back into the building.
Found them.
Yeah, you will hear a little bit of shouting.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do? How do you guys want to do this?
Swiftly and painfully.
Agreed. I could kick down the door.
Yeah, you're good at taking buildings down.
Or, take the roof off. Or, open up a hole in the side.
Yeah, I will say, I will give a better description of this building. It almost looks more like a storage shed. It's like a... I want to say here, let me double check. But first, let me copy your tokens here. It almost reminds you more of like a little storage shed. It has no real windows. Like, it only has like a single kind of front door. Size-wise, I want to say it is about like 30 feet by 35 feet. It's like a very squat, small building. You're very unassuming.
How big is it?
Probably no more than like 20 feet tall. It's a very, like I said, it's a very small building.
Does it look like 1 floor or 2?
1 floor.
Ooh. In that case,
Is it like square cube shape?
Like a square
Or like a
cube shape, yeah.
rectangular?
Well, it's like a slight rectangle, because, it's 30 by 35. But it is mostly square-ish.
interesting. Fox, do you want to... If you can still fly, do you want to knock a hole in the ceiling?
I just
Sure,
think it's
why
close
not?
enough. I'm gonna cast silence.
Yeah. So there
I'll
there is
bring it up.
so there's a door that is closed. You cannot see inside that way.
It's okay. It's a point I choose.
Yes, Hawks will, if he can, will fly above the ceiling with everyone and try to smash a hole in it.
Okay. So you go ahead and take a little smashy smash on the roof. Go ahead and roll for me an athletics check.
Because I'm enlarged, that has advantage. I also have... Wow, I rolled terribly.
Terribly. Okay. Well, to be fair, it's still a decent roll. So as you're kind of like,
That's going to be a 22, actually.
flash of genius, I'm guessing. It's I love it when you do that. You're like, actually,
Yep. That's exactly how Skinnock does it as well.
actually. So I imagine you inject some hormones, so like some testosterone into like Hogs's body,
Yep.
just like as his muscles just pump up.
Dragon juice.
Yeah, just a
It's just-
dragon juice.
It's just cocaine. Let's be real here. It's just...
It's cocaine. The hard drug.
It's legal nowadays.
In this time, sure. Doesn't make it any better. But funnily enough, you actually, the roof is not as solidly on as you might expect, Hawks. It's this basically just this. It's like you're sliding off a lid to like an oven. You just kind of like slowly slide it off. Otherwise, it would have been much harder to. But with that 22, it's just enough where you can slide it off and put it to the side, revealing a curiosity. I'll move you to a different map as soon as I make sure that everything is hidden that needs to be. So let me just reveal some areas here. Alrighty. Let's move you to that map. So the first thing that becomes apparent is that there is a massive hole at the bottom of this storage unit, leading down to an underground... You almost think it's a waterway, but it might be more that the ice just melted and perhaps collapsed part of this inward, or something else collapsed this long ago, and perhaps some of the ice melted, leaving stagnant water behind in a pool at the bottom of this hole. You can see to your left is where the door would be, and the exit outward. Otherwise, though, it seems that the cultists have fled down this hole. Well, that certainly is irritating. Probably why they chose this place.
I mean, it does leave us with a path to follow, right?
It is true.
So,
Can you fit?
It's a bit too big for current hawks.
if I go down to large, I can squeeze. So I can drop in
Well,
large.
Actually, it's big enough for a large creature, so really a huge creature would squeeze through.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
I am currently gargantuan and would need to drop down to huge, and then I can fit. Yes,
Yes.
that is my thought process.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand now. All right. Shoop, boop, 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 boop.
Well, one size up from that.
Oh. Boop, 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 boop.
Yes, there we go. That looks right. All right then.
So, who's going down first? Villain will kind of look at you all.
Muerte, how do you feel?
I feel brave.
Good. Do you want to go first?
Absolutely. And she'll resolutely jump into the hole.
Just as she does, I'm going to do Emboldening Bond on the rest of the kobolds.
Right. I promise I will not wander away very far. There, see, I've made room. I see the path split up ahead. One passageway goes to the left. And at the far end, there is a split to the left and right. There is a whitish glow coming from down their left.
Which way do you think, guys? The obvious route or the trap route?
So, Meepo, do you still got that spell going? Or
No, I cast
Oh, that's cast me.
silence.
right, okay. Hmm.
And then I dropped silence when we got in here. Nobody was there.
Right. I have that kind of spell.
I can try locate object. Look for her staff.
That might
Is there
work.
is the water down here?
No,
that,
it appears to be stagnant.
that's actually for locate person anyway, so locate object wouldn't be affected.
Correct.
Are there any signs, like any tracks we could see?
Not that you can see. It looks like the water washed, or like the water's kind of like a sort of natural. Well, I say natural, but like it's one of the few things that is probably blocking what would have been tracks essentially, or any sort of signs that any sort of sign of direction.
So,
Yeah, no mud, no blood. I actually, you know what though? I will say there is. I will say out of one of the crates over there, you will hear a meh, and a head of a goat will pop out.
interesting.
Just sort of waltzes over here and starts eating some of the hay. Meh.
I really wish I was the kind of person that would have speak with animals prepared, but it doesn't cause explosions.
Actually, I always do.
Haha. Hmm. All of you are ugly. Hmm. Ugly
Ugly
things
we
staring
might
at
be.
me.
Ugly we might be, but you look tasty. So I would answer correctly if you don't want to be food.
Roll intimidation check for me. Meh. Forgive me. Don't eat me. Meh.
There was a white, unfriendly looking character, horns, crystalline staff. Might have gotten hit by something unseen. I don't know. What did she go down this way?
The goat nods.
Did she say anything about like a trap or
Hmm.
version?
Have a hard time understanding. 2 legs, but they were clearly waiting for something like you to arrive outside.
Arrive outside.
Yeah, something about, they were clearly just watching. Villain looks towards you, Hawks. I think it looks like your theory might be right after all, Hawks. They were going to wait for us. Perhaps observe us taking part in the ritual.
The scoundrel.
Yes, scoundrels! Rah!
Stealing our hard-earned loot.
And sending my cousins to die! Rah!
Oof.
Yeah, they're quite rude.
Very rude. Rah!
What's that goat saying anyway? Keeps bleating at me.
The goat turns towards you, Meepo.
All right, which way did this go?
The goat kind of looks down the hole. Takes a sniff. Scary lady with white skin was waiting near a pool of water. Big pool.
Does this pool produce a light source, or is it a dark area?
Shiny, yes.
Have you been down this pathway before?
Yes. Behind, though. There were one-eyed creatures that were hanging out in here. My brother got set in to lure one of them out, and then they killed him. Then they dumped their bodies in the pool. Rah!
Okay. Do you know? So we were told there's a couple paths down here. Do they connect to each other?
No, dead ends.
Interesting.
Okay. So one way in, one way out.
Well, plenty of places to hide. Mwah.
Well, in that case.
Plenty of places to hide, but with a territorial axe beak in the way, they'd be hard pressed to get by.
You see the goat You see the goat's head slowly turn down the hole towards where Muerte is looking up. You know, Muerte, axe beaks are omnivorous. You see Muerte just staring at the goat. The goat stares back, and there's a moment of silent tension.
Muerte, no.
But I want the goat now.
Too bad. Have avarice.
It's disgusting. I would never eat mortal flesh. Or would I? You kind of Muerte contemplates this. No. I would not. But no. Besides, we're wasting time.
Yes. I had a thought. Who has castings of silence?
I do.
Okay. My thought is that I can cast invisibility.
I can too. But
Right,
silence is concentration, so if you want that.
So I could, make one or more people invisible, and they could sneak down and slap her with silence, and then we all just dogpile them.
Kobold pile.
Mm-hmm. That's much worse than a dog pile. More knives.
Friends, we have a problem.
Yeah?
There is a giant hand. It's staring at me menacingly, even though it has no eyes. It's posturous, intimidating, and threatening. It's moving this way.
I will try to push past and maybe.
It's menacing.
All right, back off.
It wiggles its fingers at you, and it looks to be. It has the image of like a dainty laced gloved hand, but with these elongated scratching kind of like nails. Well, the glove itself seems to have a slight chill to the air around it. And it wags a finger at you, Hawks.
Wait, is this an actual casting of the Bigby's hand, or is this another Bigby's hand flying around patrolling?
Make an Arcana check. Arcana 11. 14.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't look like any of the other hands that you've seen. You're not sure.
You could use Emboldening Bond.
Oh, that's right. You have a Emboldening Bond.
So that will be
13 and a 15.
15.
Okay. 15 would be exactly the DC that you needed, because of the level of the spell. That is a casting of Bigby's hand and not a living spell. Which makes sense, given that it doesn't look like any of the hands that you've seen so far in the ruins.
I give it the finger.
It does not make any gesture back. It is just continually closing its claws in and out menacingly. It does seem to... It does... I will say, it does move slightly closer, and it just blocks the way. And interposingly, I would say.
Can I get through there? Hawks, I'm coming under you.
Oh, okay. Holding still so I don't step on you.
All right.
5th level.
All right. Dispel magic. You see the Bigby's hand disappear.
Which way did it come from, Muerte?
Straight down.
Let's go that way.
Down the tunnel.
Let's go commit some violence.
All right, and as soon as you go out that way, Meepo, I am so sorry. I need you all to roll initiative, as you are. You're not surprised, obviously, because everyone knew. You knew they were going to be there. They knew you were going to be there. But yeah, you're going to be caught in the crossfire. Oh, 22, very nice. So let me roll some stuff here. Oh, I move things. Darn it, why did that do that twice? Roll 20 is being weird on me again. It's definitely roll 20 because it's the laptop. There we go. Okay, here we go. If someone could get Morte's initiative, that would be great.
Blanca. Somebody else rolling?
Nope.
Okay, I will do it.
Okay.
It's a 10.
A 10. Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay. Almost forgot Valin. 16. Good girl. Valin would have been back here. All right. Let's get some music up here. Some Buried Secrets by Travis Savoy. So, first up in the initiative, we have Yumipo. And I will reveal to you what you see. In this room, there is a very large stagnant pool of water with this sickly teal glow. Actually, you wouldn't see. You would see just the part of that guy. You would see, however,
Bone pile.
you would see a large group of cultists hanging back here, lying in wait. A couple cultists over here. You do not have visual on Avarice right now. But they all see you.
That's a bonus action. And then as an action, I will cast resistance on myself. And move over to here.
Okay. So, is that your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
Alright. It is now the cult fanatics' turns. I suppose I would have also revealed. Let me see here. Would have revealed this reveal tool, please. I'm begging you. Reveal this pathway over here. That we would have seen that. But this group will start swarming out. One of them points their hands towards you, and you see them gripping that black sword talisman that they were carrying with them. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
They have to make a wisdom saving throw against my sanctuary.
This, let's see, does it specify, this is attack rolls for Sanctuary. Attack or harmful spell, never mind. I'm silly. It's a harmful spell. So, why? I thought they would have a bigger bonus there.
Cultists are chumps.
17?
17 does, I think, beat my DC, so I make a wisdom save, you said?
Yes.
Oh no. Plus 10.
Yeah. You feel a familiar sensation as your bones begin to lock up. But the feeling passes. However, something else does happen, though. As you suddenly see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 swords. Spiritual weapons. All appear right next to you.
Each of them has to make a wisdom save.
Yes, they
DC
do.
17.
No. No. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one more.
Oh, you know what?
What is it?
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Alright. So, it's going to be 2 attacks. 2 swings of spiritual weapon.
Okay.
A,
make the
a
attacks.
15 and a 19.
I think both of those hit. No, the 15 does not hit.
The 15 doesn't hit. Okay, so only one goes through.
AC.
Okay. You double check this.
The Trickster Domain Cleric with Sanctuary, a high AC, and the Mirror Image spell is literally impossible to hit.
You take 3 points of force damage.
Okay.
Right?
Oh no.
Oh no, indeed.
There was a time that would have just dropped me, though.
You know what? It's true. That would have at one point.
That is,
dropped me, though.
that is not this day.
And that was their bonus actions. They're all going to start swarming you.
Oh, that's right. I have a shield too.
And a couple of them go back. One goes back over here. So that's going to be 3 more wisdom saves. 1, 2, 3. One of them goes through. Where is the thing? Where's the thing?
I really didn't like that.
Oh, sorry. No. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. 14.
That's a lot of damage.
No. Ignore that. So that's
Roll
their turn.
120.
It's now Valin's turn. There's a lot of people in the way.
14 damage.
No. That's a 14 to hit.
Oh. What's the damage?
But 14 doesn't hit you, though, right?
Well, you said one of them hit me.
No, I
One
didn't.
of
One of them got through the
has
sanctuary.
Oh, one got through the sanctuary, but it didn't hit me. Okay,
Correct.
got it. I'm looking at my character sheet, trying to figure out why I have such a high AC.
What's your AC?
16.
Probably armor, I assume.
I have leather armor.
Leather.
Don't you have a shield?
Yes, but that's 2, so that's a 13. The only
What's your
thing that-
dexterity?
3.
16.
Yeah, that'd do it.
Is that added when I'm wearing leather armor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought leather armor just said it. Okay.
No,
That
leather
explains it.
armor is 11 plus dex.
Okay. Good. Good.
Alright, so Villain is going to cast Chill Touch. She will miss horribly. Hawks.
I have to squeeze to get down there.
You do.
So I've got like 15 feet of movement.
Yep.
Or I could reduce myself and then counter the reduction by using Giant's Might so that everything will be at even. And then I'll have full movement. So I'll reduce myself to large. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I am large instead of huge. And then I will activate Giant Might, which would set me to large if I'm smaller than large.
Indeed.
And now the strength advantage, the disadvantage from being reduced, would go away because I have advantage from Giant's Might. Which also, that means that has like a weird effect, right? Because theoretically I already have advantage and disadvantage countering each other out, so can't be... Oh, this is a weird situation in general.
Yeah, there's like a whole swath of debuff spells that just do not apply to you anymore.
And I can't fight right now, but I can move to here.
You can.
You can loom.
You loom you do indeed, as some of them recognize you, at least from the description of you, and they are terrified.
But at least now I'm within range that I can actually use some of my reactions.
Yes.
So that will be Hawks' turn.
Alright. It's now Muerte's turn. Actually, we'll try and jump through. Yeah, Muerte will, at the very least, try and kind of squeeze past you slightly just so she can make an attack of her own, and then bump back, getting an attack of opportunity. Where is her? There it is. She will attack twice. Does that creature hit before? It was not. $25, which will make the second one advantage. 18, both of those will hit. Double check, is many of those a crit? No.
No.
Alright, for a total of 17 points of slashing damage. Alright, as she darts back, a Dark Devotee of Levistus will slash forth. And will miss. With that... Actually, wait, no. It'll hit because the beak thing only provided +1 to a weapon. It was a weapon, not armor. That's right. So that will actually hit.
But her AC is 12.
AC's 12? I thought her AC was 11.
No, her AC is 12.
From what was that? What was that from?
I don't know, it just says 12 on here.
I mean, her Bardic, I think it's a
plus
point.
12.
Or no.
Dexterity is +1.
Everything else I have on her personal says 11.
On Muerte Blanca, Terror of the Tundra stat block, it says 12 armor class.
That must be an error on my part then. All right, then I will. That will miss anyway. That's fine.
She has the improved defense. Your AC.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
That was.
Everybody's clicking buttons.
Oopsie. I had a accident.
That's all right. All right, so that's Muerte. And that means it is Avarice's turn. Curious and curious. I got an idea. Or rather... Yeah, nah. She's going to peer around this corner. Ah, there you are. Oh, that's right, you. And you. Both of you are such problems. Let's deal with you first. And she'll point a finger at you, Hawks. I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma.
She's gonna banish you.
Except I'll roll an 18.
18, okay. You feel as if your form being shunted to somewhere else, but then you pop back in place. Oh shit! And she pops back over here.
Guys, I found her.
I feel that. I feel that in my bones.
Was at that moment she knew.
She
The
fucked
sheep.
up. Scales. Speaking of fucking up on her part, it's your turn.
I'll give you a guess on what I want to do.
Does it have anything to do with a lance that's psychic? Okay, no.
No.
It's even better.
Oh, you have advantage on all of these, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Beautiful.
I need to play more full casters, man. I never get to play with these spells.
I'm super glad I kind of stuck myself back here in this corner just to give advantage to my allies.
All right, so starting off, which direction you going and who's getting hit first?
They're like mugging me in the corner, and suddenly they're all dying.
Yours. Let's see. First,
All right, dead.
second, third, fourth, fifth.
All right. So go ahead and the first one automatically dead. So go ahead and make your other attacks.
Even more dead.
Dead.
That's what you get for ganging up on a lonely cleric
Mhm,
in the
dead.
corner hallway.
Also dead.
And this last one will be at a normal.
Because I'm not.
Not dead, but very hurt.
The boy who lived.
Lived
What?
to die another turn.
Why, thanks, Scales.
All right, so you get a better sense of this room. You now see Avarice hiding behind that wall. And she sees you. All right, time I got a bit more serious. Minion,
Yeah,
shield me.
No, I still haven't gotten serious yet. I'm going to inspire myself.
Hmm.
And that's my turn.
Quite soothing.
Okay. Skadak, it's your turn.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually going to perhaps this is hubris, but I'm going to stroll over here to see around this corner.
All right. You stroll around that corner.
What do my bold eyes see?
Your bold eyes see a bunch more cultists with fright. Not so much a frightened look on their eye, but like we're about to jump you kind of look.
Ah,
The
see.
jumps shall be jumped. Or the jumpers shall become the jumped.
It looks as if they were about to jump around the corner, but then you stroll around instead.
I'm a little leery of casting Shatter indoors, but I guess what's the worst that could happen?
Technically,
Really?
your Kobold Dark Vision would see the far end of this tunnel as well, but it leads to a dead end.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, no, wind wall's a meme, but it's not super useful. Yeah. It's not usually useful right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna cast Shatter on him.
All right, Shatter it is.
Just do it to him.
From top
That'll
to left
be
bottom.
13
11.
plus 1d.
Those are all failures.
Yep. Let's see. Okay, so that'll be 13, and there's another d8 involved in this.
Okay.
So 18 damage.
18 damage. They're looking a bit rough, but they're still kicking.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The cannon is actually quite slow, if I'm remembering correctly. What is its speed? Is it 15? Speed is probably 15. Yes, 15 feet to an occupied space. Well, let's see. It can go here then, and which case I think it has line of sight on one guy. Maybe?
It's blocked technically.
Well,
But next turn though.
that's unfortunate. I'm not hugely concerned with their damage output, I'll be honest.
Fair enough.
Perhaps another bit of hubris there.
They are not going to be able to touch you either, Scanuck. Your AC is absolutely outrageous.
It is, yes. Because artificers get artillerists get shield, and that's disgusting.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you're really disgusting. Alright. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell. Can't tell to hold an action. That'd be too powerful.
You hear a cackling next to you, Meepo. Remember me, little one? And suddenly, a very familiar-looking night hag
Yeah, dang it.
steps out of the ethereal plane next to you, Meepo. Hello there. Did you forget about me and my sisters who you murdered?
No.
Yeah.
Is that General Kenobi?
Who's Kenobi?
Can we say that live?
No.
Which one?
Yes. No.
It didn't happen. It's not canon.
DMC age.
It's not canon, much like the sequels. I mean, what?
Which one were you?
Big agree.
Oh, that's sorry. Anti-pillage at your service. Now die!
Now I know who to land.
Shut! Alright, so.
She has to make a wisdom save.
She still does, that's true. Now, if it's magic missile, that's still technically.
She has to make
A
this a
harmful
wisdom
spell.
save to make.
Right,
to aim it
because
at-
it's a harmful spell, right? Right.
Yeah.
It'll hit me if she makes the wisdom save, but if not, it'll just hit somebody else.
Correct. Alright, so what's her wisdom save here? Alright. She does get advantage on this because she has magic resistance. Great, she'll fail that. Which means, instead, that spell is going to you, Hux. You're getting magic missiled.
I like how she says
That's fine.
die because she's casting magic missile.
I wish-
Like it's
I
gonna
wish
kill
Fox had
anybody at
shield.
10th level.
Probably not.
That's okay.
Okay, you're taking 8 points of force damage, Hux.
Okay.
Oh no!
Which means you also need to roll concentration for a reduce. You're fine. There's always
That's her turn.
that stipulation of like, does magic missile force 3 con saves or 1, but I'm just gonna make it force 1. Go ahead.
I think the way it's worded, it deals it like when you select a number of missiles for one person, it deals it as one pool.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
But I don't know for sure. Is that her turn?
It is her turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna need her to make a wisdom saving throw as I activate the stone rune on her.
Oh no! 21.
Ah, dang.
A good idea though.
Well, that's kind of the nature of the stone rune.
Yeah. At the top of the round, you guys hear the clacking of stony wings as the remaining gargoyle brother, who still yet lives, lies down and tries to grapple Villain.
Valan, if you get killed by a gargoyle, I'm ashamed of you.
17. The gargoyle.
Oh, so let's make sure that works.
All right, Villain. You have A +1 to your dex. It's either ride or die. Nope. She is grappled by the gargoyle. That was at the top of the round effect, so that gets to roll initiative for realsies. You guys have a chance. Hang on, I need to double check. For some reason, silly me didn't input the gargoyle stat block beforehand, because I'm very silly. That's okay, I can just look up on my phone. Just as I thought, they have a 0 bonus. A 7. So you guys got a chance to stop this.
What is it?
They got a 7 on their initiative bonus, so they have some time before they can actually move. And Velen has a chance to escape too. Meepo.
Let's see, what do I want to do first? That's all right there, so let's... I'll deal with you later. Step away.
Alright.
Just make a wisdom save if she wants to attack of opportunity.
18.
Okay, so she can make the attack of opportunity.
Right, which she definitely will. Aha! I'll get you this time!
16 AC.
Yeah, let's see if she can hit your 16 AC. We'll see. A 12, that'll miss.
So I'll hold up my shield. Right, I said I'll deal with you later.
Dang it!
Yeah,
Slippery
okay,
little shit!
And, well, let's see. Do you want to go towards him or towards... I think I'm going to go towards Hawks. I'm going to cast freedom of movement on him. Here you go, Hawks. You do what you need. It's 10 feet of movement, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oops, sorry, let me reveal that down there. Oh, damn it. This reveal tool is always fighting me.
It is your greatest nemesis.
Reveal tool, BBEG.
I'm over here. Oh,
From the bottom.
Alright, that makes it more difficult, but I can still deal with you.
That was an action, right? And then I have bonus actions. What do I want to do bonus action? Is this a bonus action? Oh, here it is. Okay.
Alright, is that your turn, Meebo?
I have a bonus action still. I'm
Okay.
looking at a couple of options here. I will just use Favor of the Crescent Moon for Zelaria. Could you help me out? Or not Zelaria. Sonar. I'm gonna add 1 to my AC and give disadvantage to attacking
Okay.
on me.
Alright.
So I have 16 AC next time they try to attack.
You feel the familiar embrace and that faint smell of pumpkin spice as Sonar gives you a tight hug over you. You just hear, ah. You see a smiling visage looking at you. Alright. It's not the cult fanatics' turns. These two come out of their place of hiding over here. I need you to make a wisdom save, Hawks.
Okay. 14.
A 14? Their save is embarrassingly low, so you actually do manage to pass. That does mean, however, that 2 swords are still up, ready to attack you. A 5 and an 11. Nope. That said,
Not even a chance.
not even a chance. I do need you to make a dexterity saving throw, though, as one is going to cast Sacred Flame on you. 9.
Can you add
That's
your
fine.
shields?
I can, because it is targeting only me. So it's actually a 12.
Okay, a 12 will pass.
Sacred Flame, being a cantrip, will not do half damage. It will do no damage.
That
And
is
it would
correct.
actually still do no damage because of Shield Master, I guess.
Alright. These boils over here are going to swarm you, Skinnock. And they are all going to cast a spell on you. As they all reach out with their hands with a blistering energy. 17. I'm sure none of those hit.
No. No, they do not.
Nope. No, they don't. This guy, though. I need... Scales, I need you to make, for me, an athletics check, or acrobatics check of your choice, as you're being shoved backward by the cult fanatic.
Away from the pool.
Yeah, away from it. Good lord. Nope, you are not pushed back.
Is he in the pool right now?
He's in the pool, yes. Okay, that's their turn, though. That's all I could really do. Very unfruitful turn. Velen is going to try and escape the grapple.
Hey, Meepo, do you have Destroy Water?
Unfortunately, I didn't prepare it today. I was
Dang it.
not expecting to come up against a big pool of malignant water.
Drat.
I was really thinking the same thing.
Wouldn't it be great if Destroy Water just like auto killed water elementals?
Alright. Velen does actually manage to escape from the grapple. She's going to try and skedaddle this way. Actually, no. She's going to... She doesn't want to risk the attack of opportunity. But does she have Misty Step? She does not have Misty Step. Okay, she can do something else. She's going to cast a first level spell. She's like, I can never think of a joke for these. Fuck it. I'm not funny enough for this. She will just start casting a spell, and you see the gargoyle start to giggle a little bit as it needs to make a saving throw. Oh, dang, I keep messing up that. Natural 1.
I'm sure whatever joke you would have come up with would have rocked. Get it? Because he's a gargoyle.
Darn it, why didn't I think of that? It's funny because you're not funny. And it doubles over laughing.
That's rudeness.
Yep. So with that, Velen will scurry over this way, and then he'll get an opportunity attack, but with disadvantage. That's 2. Disadvantage 10, she's fine. Hawks. There are some corpses in your way here that are somewhat difficult terrain.
I have enough space to get to the person I want to get to, though.
He's not
He
affected by
has freedom of
difficult terrain.
movement.
My bad. I thought it was Meepo that had that. Okay, that makes fine.
No, I cast it on Hawks because I figured Hawks didn't want his turn taken away by hold person again.
No, there is one person here who is going to get it. First things first, I'm going to roar in her face with a draconic roar. So everything will be at advantage. Secondly, I'm going to action surge.
All right.
because, action surge, fighter, lol, lol,
Lil, lil, lil.
And so that will be 6 attacks with advantage with my axe, which I have given a name
Oh.
since the last time we played. So let's go, Tower Cracker.
Tower Cracker. All right. 27, 19, 23.
I'm
Oh,
listening to this from the other room.
good. Okay, so yes,
Oh.
yes, definitely yes. Oh, that's a nat 20 at the end, so we'll see if she.
Does that open up the hallway at the end of the rubble there?
I'm considering it. Total up damage for me if you don't mind.
13, 26, 30, 40, 50, 62, 62 plus
As
14,
he's swinging at her.
76.
76.
Oh my
76. She is still alive, but my God, you did you did more than 75% of her health in one turn.
Wait, hang on a moment. Don't you get a little bit of bonus damage from Giant Smite?
I get on a single attack, I get a D8 I can add to it. So, for the purposes of that last hit, there will be 2 D8s added. And it will be 13 more damage.
Oh, dang it. I accidentally hit the back button.
So,
Oh, there you go.
as he's swinging away and I hear the crunching and the squelching noises, I'm gonna yell, it wasn't me that killed any of your sisters. I'm a pacifist.
It was me. I did it.
Dirty lies!
And I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna pass a fist through your face. So yes,
Oh.
that was whatever the previous total was with 13 more.
Okay, 13 more. She's still up. Kind of.
I'm
Where
not one
they
for the details.
charge?
If that is your wish, it will be my command.
And I think Hawks will just sort of move this way. These cultists here too also should have gotten tagged with the roar because it's a 10-foot bubble.
Yes. So that reminds me, though, because you got the natural 20, lingering injury, horrible scar.
Of course, there's no scar.
It's not gonna matter when you're dead.
Yeah, you cleave right across, like you basically just go right from like the bottom jaw, cleaving right across and then cleaving off the nose and carving off a horn. And she is screaming in agony.
Can she speak?
Barely.
Dang,
Enough to get spells out.
dang it.
Look,
Should have cut off.
look, man. That was how I wanted to look cool, alright? Mechanically is a different story. But that is mean. It is Muerte's turn. Muerte Blanca. Muerte Blanca. Dashing through the snow, Muerte Blanca seeking out her foe. With a flash of her beak, her claws like a streak. Muerte Blanca, Muerte Blanca. And she will go in for the kill. With advantage, of course.
Oof.
Not quite a nat 20 in the second one. It was an 18. But the nat 20 on the first one, though, will hurt.
It's a bad day to be a cultist.
Does Morte crit on 18s or just 19s?
19.
Just 19s.
So guess what? That was exactly what she had left.
Get wrecked.
That hag got absolutely wrecked.
Last thing she hears is, I'm a pacifist. I'm a pacifist through your face.
What a way to go. What a way to go.
An axe beak just sprints down the corridor, honking angrily.
Like a raging goose.
I already forgot her name.
you know. To be fair, like you don't remember her name specifically. You know, they're kind of shouting their names out: pillage, pinch, plunder. Like you don't know which one it was. Who was it? I don't know.
Pathetic.
Village.
Ah, yes, the fourth sister, Pathetica.
That's the last name. They all are.
It's the maiden name. All right.
Your mother has been plebeian.
So it's Avarice's turn now, and she's got something up her sleeve.
An arm. Haha, got him.
Gosh, you can't own me like this, Caleb.
We're in a mood tonight, aren't we?
To be fair, we missed a couple of weeks of D&D, so yeah, we're rightfully in a mood. This is us trying to get back into it.
Some
Right.
bottled up chaos.
Okay, so 10 by 10 foot panels.
It's been a couple stressful weeks of work. I'll tell you what, I needed this.
Avarice needed it too.
Avarice needs a little more than Scales taking his wrath out on her.
Okay. So, you all watch as Avarice takes the staff in her hand. I didn't want to have to use this, but it looks like I have to go all out. And she slams the Staff of Frost against the ground. And you see a wall of ice begin to form along the ground, rumbling. And with that, I need Meepo, Skanuk, Hawks, and then as well... Yeah.
Scales?
Actually, no, not Skanuk. What am I talking about? Sorry. Meepo, Scales, and Hawks, and then Muerte.
To do what?
Make dexterity saving throws for me.
Kobolds have emboldening bond. Ugh.
And fortunately, don't have anything that can help Meepo right now. You have emboldening bond, so that'll be up to a 23.
Alright, 23.
I'm not concentrating on anything right now, am I?
You're concentrating on freedom of movement, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure you need to concentrate on that anymore, though.
Right. Well, the cultists were casting the same spell on me, so one of them can probably still use it.
So whether you pass or fail, you are pushed to one side regardless. So, Hawks, you are pushed to this side. Muerte is pushed over here. Scales, you are pushed down here. And Meepo, you are left out here. There. If I separate you, I can take you out one by one.
Uh-huh.
However, you still take half damage from this, which is going to be...
This takes no damage.
Except Hawks, but you know, it's... Okay, so Meepo, you take 33 points of cold damage. Scales, you take...
16.
16, yes.
Wall of ice.
Wall of ice. So you cannot see through it. It is just a wall of ice. It is 10 feet high, and then it seems to be connected by 10 by 10 foot panels.
So Avarice can't see me.
She can't see you, no.
Excellent. Which means she can't counterspell me if I were to cast a spell.
Correct.
Sucks for her.
It sure does.
Add 20 Constitution save on concentration.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty nice.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to, let's see. I forgot to roll the save for me for Morte.
Are clerics proficient in con saves?
No. I don't think so.
Morte.
Wisdom
Morte,
and
33.
charisma, I think.
I have a feeling that she doesn't realize how psychic lanced she's going to be shortly.
Probably. That's fine. Not fine, but you know, it's fine.
That's how things go.
That's how things go. Scales.
I'm going to. Quickened spell. Quicken spell polymorph.
Oh, good. The bad news is, you're well. The bad news is the good news is you're not squeezed to death. The bad news is you're kind of uncomfortably stuck in the space.
That's okay. The space is gonna open up in a second.
This combat did need a little bit more monkey.
It does need a little bit more monkey, and I need to find the token for it. There you are.
Return to monkey.
Return to monkey. Here it is. Meepo from the other side. Technically, she won't see you for the purposes of counterspell, but for humor's sake, you see just the squeezed up form of Scales, just like
I'm just seeing like his shadow behind the foggy glass, or the foggy ice, grows really big and just like smushes with his face like pressed up against it, going.
Yeah, mechanically, Avarice can't see her, but just for you, just for comedy's sake, you see that. All right, so you are now inside this bit of ice.
Okay, and then I'm going to punch the wall of ice. It has a hit points and a.
It does. It has AC and hit points, which I will count. So it does it in 10 foot by 10 foot sections. So like it would be like this bit right here or this bit down here. So I assume you're gonna hit like this section right here.
Yeah.
Alrighty, a 16 will hit for 13 bludgeoning. It manages to crack, but it stays firm. Okay. This time, you give it a solid thwack, and it shatters. Let me draw a shape here.
I was hoping that wall would crack and I could just like grab the cultist by the throat and choke him out.
Can you imagine just like this ham-sized fist bursting out of the wall and just grabbing a man by the face?
Bit smaller.
That's a bad sign. You don't want that in your life.
No, why would you want that?
Unless you are the one with a ham-sized fist. In that case, you do want it.
True. So this section of the wall breaks open. So let me double check something here. Could you move me to the sheet? Alright. So, I will say, because of your size, you are kind of like, at this point, you now, against your will, spill out, pushing this cultist to the side. So now you can take up the space proper. In doing so, though, you inadvertently go through the space of where the wall of ice broke, and you notice that there is this chill mist where the wall once was, and it is freezing cold. And now I need to make a con save. Because Wall of Ice has a twofold aspect to it.
Yep. Let's see here.
So that will be 15 points of cold damage, unless it is reduced. That is a failure.
Okay, so that's 14 points of damage and a
15 points of cold damage.
15 points. And then advantage on my... Are you kidding me?
No!
Emboldening bond? Question mark?
Oh, no, I have
He does have it.
inspiration still.
You do.
There.
He also does have emboldening bond, just in case he needs it.
There you go. There you go. All right, with that, you maintain concentration on your monkey form.
Alright, that is my turn.
Alrighty. It's now the gargoyle's turn again. Frustrated, is laughing its butt off, but frustrated. So let's see here.
I forgot that the gargoyle was even here.
To be fair, it kind of got dunked on with the Tasha's.
Very good.
So...
And he is hideous, and he is laughing.
Haha. So yeah, he can't really do anything about that, so he's just going to make the save at the end of his turn. Which he fails. Still. So he is useless. Sknuk.
So, anyone got any cards? No? Then you got a card? Alright, yeah, cool. We'll settle this part way then. These two guys will get opportunity attacks.
Alright, most likely they will miss, but we'll see.
Excuse me.
Nope.
Around.
They miss.
Cool. Excellent. And I don't actually get burning hands as an artillerist. That's rather surprising. But I do have cold hands. Oh, that's not good. So they all need to make Constitution saves.
Okay. One get a natural 20, and the other two fail.
I see. Well, that would be 3 with the arcane firearm. 11 points of damage.
Alright, they're still up, but not looking good. Death's door for 2 of them on the back, and then slightly less so for the one in the front.
Deeply disappointing. Let's see. That's my action. I think as a bonus action, I'm just going to tell the cannon to waddle over this way and take a pot shot at whatever's trying to kill the villain.
Yeah, these two are definitely more hurt for sure.
So now, this third guy does get an opportunity attack.
Indeed. But he will take a 15.
That will not hit.
No, it won't.
The cannon will stop for a moment and then turn and stare and angle itself at him for a second before walking away.
You what?
Okay, now a shot at this gargoyle. Is he prone?
The gargoyle is prone, yes.
Okay, so this would actually be a disadvantage then. Force Ballista. Oof. Well, that was never going to hit.
Unfortunate.
Oh, well.
That is okay.
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Alright, Meepo, it is your turn.
Actually, I'm going to walk up here if that's all right. I'm just going to Yeah.
That's all good, all good. Let me move this over here.
I don't think I need that wall of ice there.
Dispel, alright, what level?
Third.
Third, okay. It's a higher level spell. So, I'm gonna
Yep.
need you to roll.
What is it? It's
So, it is...
spell testing ability spell check.
Yes, so
So
it was essentially just
20
your...
plus my spell testing ability.
Yeah, so that 20 plus
Like
your spell
spell
modifier. So 1d20 plus wisdom.
Wisdom modifier. So okay. Not quite a spell attack because I don't get the 15.
15? Let me double check Wall of Ice. That might be enough.
Use 10 plus the spell's level. So if the spell is 5th level or lower,
It might actually be 5th level. Let me check. It is actually 6th level.
oh, okay.
It is one below necessary, so unfortunately your Dispel Magic fails.
That's an action.
It is an ability check, though. Do you have Emboldening Bond on?
Oh, I do
Mm.
have emboldening bond on.
Yeah, it's an ability check
Make an
using your
ability
spellcasting
check
ability.
using yeah.
That is true.
Wow, emboldening bond gets better.
Didn't even think about it.
Somehow. You gotta love cleric features.
You
All
embolden
I
away
needed.
go.
I rolled minimum and that's all I needed.
Indeed.
Disgusting.
Excellent.
Give me a little help here, Scales. Just taps it and it falls over.
It's like a domino effect. It just starts shattering one piece by piece, but panel by panel, and it's gone. And so is this little
Reduced to
frosty effect. All right, so that was your action.
That's my action. I don't think I'm gonna use a bonus action here. Let me double check something first. I think I'm good to go.
All right, all right.
Yeah, here. I'm gonna move over to here. Block her exit, just in case there's...
All right. So now it's the cult fanatics' turns. Somehow they're still alive. So, Skinnock, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Armor. 14.
Man, their save DC is so bad. Yeah, you you succeed against the hold person. So they're just gonna dogpile you. So one is going to shove you prone, so go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me, or a strength check of your choice. Or
What am
thought.
I actually better at? Definitely acrobatics.
Yeah, they can't do anything to you. So yeah, the other one's just gonna try and stab you. Oh, with a 13, which will miss.
I said.
His cultists all at once just try and like dogpile you. He's like, in the name of Levistus, die, 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 and you're just nimbly dodging out of the way without any effort at all.
Just sidestep. Guy just lands. Just lands where I was. It's down on his head.
Yeah, they're not very good at this. So, you, Hux, I need you to make 2 wisdom saving throws.
Right?
17. Hey! Why isn't our magic working? Levistus, help us!
'Cause you shit. You demons shit.
It's a devil! How dare you! We won't let this insult stand!
He's frozen in a block of ice. Why do we care?
Not for long!
If we have something to say about it.
That is their
Which we
turn.
do.
It is Valin's turn. She's just gonna slowly make her way over here. She doesn't want to... It's going pretty well. She doesn't want to use a spell slot for this.
That's fair.
Chill touch on this boy right here. He gets grabbed by the back of his skull, and he gets crushed in its palm, and he dies. Slowly and painfully by the chill touch.
Ow.
He is gone.
That's painful.
Alrighty. That's Valin's turn. Hawks, it is your turn. The wall of ice that was behind you is no longer there. But there are two people in front of you who might die a horrible death very soon.
I don't know that I can kill them both. They are still both under the effects of the roar. So I'll have advantage on these attack rolls. I'm just gonna start with the top one and try and knock him out, and then whatever's left I'll do to the bottom one.
Oh
So-
wait, wouldn't you be canceled out because of the enlarge reduce shenanigans?
Ah, that is true. That is true. Actually, no, because enlarge reduces skill checks, not attack rolls.
Oh, never mind then.
Yes.
He just
Aha.
has reduced damage because of the reduce.
So
There.
I'm gonna bop and bop twice against the top one.
Alright. Both of those will hit. He's still alive.
I'll throw the D8 in there. I'll just do the last one against him.
Alright. Add that. As he will tower against these two individuals, blocking the doorway from view, just slashing at them. That would do. They cower in fear of the damage that you've wrought against them. Is that your turn, my friend?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can really do. It's enough to block their path, right?
Enough to block their path and scare them shitless, so I would say it's successful.
Hey Hawks,
Yes.
your melee weapon attacks deal 1d4 less damage.
But they also deal more damage because of Giant's Might.
Giant's Might I can only apply to one attack, so yes, that would be D3 less total. So okay, so seven less.
Okay, so I'll just subtract the 5 from the first one guy on top, and then the 2 from the guy on the bottom. Okay, got it.
Didn't he attack the same guy 3 times?
Yeah.
You ignore me then. I'm in my addled brain. I made an oopsie, so he might have
good.
been dead, but that made him live.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
But yeah, that'll be all I can really do for now. And actually, honestly, since I'm actually next to things, I might as well drop reduce. Because I can still squeeze through this hallway. I wasn't going to be able to actually get into the combat at first if I didn't reduce.
Right.
But I'll save that decision for next turn, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough. That means it is Muerte's turn. She has quite a few options here. Instead, she's going to peek over you, Skanuk, and make a couple beak attacks. First off, this will most assuredly kill this guy. It will, in fact, kill that guy.
Violence inherent in the system.
So she will jump over you to attack that other guy. Which, will that kill him? It actually will not. But he is about to be dead. We have the upper hand. We greatly outnumber her. Now it is Avarice's turn.
Rage doesn't take into account numbers.
You all think you're so clever, don't you? Fine. You're clever. You're better than me. I admit it. Fine. But I still have a little bit more juice left in this magic. So,
Why does she think that we care if we're better than her? We don't want to be better. We want her dead.
who can tell in the mind like that?
She is a sociopath.
Let's see here. She is going to go here. Misty Step. Right here.
That's coming. Not gonna be luck.
1, 10, 15, 20, 25. There's a little problem here, but she's going to fix that problem. You're in my way, Evelyn. And she's going to... Let's see here. Who could I... Let's damage the most people possible.
She used Misty Step.
She did. So she can't. That's fine. So instead...
She can use her staff. It's an action, so she's not it's an item, so she's not casting a spell.
No, it still counts towards that. It does still count towards that. That's fine. But she will resume this. You're in my way, Evelyn. Yes, I am. It's a nice feeling. I admit it. What makes you think I'm going to let you pass, Avarice? We'll see. We'll see. Scales, it's your turn.
I will. I'll go ahead and I'll drop monkey form.
Alrighty. Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20. I can see Avarice.
Mm-hmm. And she can see you.
Unsettling words.
Okay. What do you say?
Just a second. Okay, so it's still a D10. I say good luck and all that entails. 5, 10, 15. Let's see, rolling that D10. 4.
All right.
Oh, Avarice.
Ah, beans. So, -4. That is a 7.
That's a 3, but yeah.
No, it's not, actually, because I reduced it from her save bonus.
Oh, okay.
So that is a 7. But still a failure.
It's 25 points of psychic damage, and she is incapacitated.
All right. You watch as she puts her hands to her head, and she starts just screaming, "Ah, oh, damn you!" All right. So she is incapacitated. She can do nothing about that. So is that your turn, Scales?
That is my turn.
All right. It is now the gargoyle's turn, who is still under the effects of Tasha's hideous laughter. Just laughing on his side. He's gonna try and make the wisdom save again. No. Nope. 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 Skunnock.
Oh. Well. Well. Let's see. I'm going to walk over here. This guy might get an opportunity attack if Morte's not standing on him.
It won't be very.
It doesn't.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to object to him getting an opportunity attack. It's not.
It's just not gonna work. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
It's just not. He'll try, but it
This
won't
is when
work.
he gets a natural 20 and just ices my ass. Okay.
They're trying. They're really
Can
trying.
you imagine if he just like lashed out and took my entire leg off or some shit?
That would have been hilarious. Like, yes, I've done it! I've done it!
Alright, let's see. Scorching Ray? This seems like a good Scorching Ray time.
Sounds about right.
Scorching Ray for Avarice. At advantage because she's adjacent to Villain. That was a very foolish thing to do. Zoop. Zap. Z. Okay.
Those are all really good rolls.
Yep.
Yes, they all hit.
Okay. So let's see. Only that one gets the arcane firearm. After that, it's. Let's see. 32 points of fire damage,
Ow.
which ignores resistance.
It does. She can't use reactions either because she's incapacitated.
Feels bad, man.
Yep. Yep, she's looking rough.
She's looking boned.
Now then, after that, the cannon will step over here, and it will also shoot her.
As villain ducks.
Honestly, it might be better to jump.
Alright, 26 will
Alright.
definitely hit.
Villain
Going
sees
13
Kenna
force.
move and she's like, oh.
Alright, it gets pushed back 5 feet. Yeah, as she's standing there, just like holding her head, grasping it, she just feels up, choom, and she gets pushed back 5 feet.
Yep. God, I love artillerists. Such a disgusting class. Alright, yep, that is my turn.
Meepo.
I think we're all having fun with our classes. And while I say that, I'm going to hold my action to cast Silence once Muerte's had the final word. In other words, once Muerte's turn is done, I'm going to cast Silence.
Okay.
That way I'm not getting in anybody's way with it. And other people can use
So
their spells.
as far as freedom of movement goes, I need to double check the wording on that.
I can post it for you here.
No, let's see. Unaffected by difficult terrain. So technically squeezing is not difficult terrain.
Right. I didn't know if that was something that was considered difficult terrain or how that...
Yeah,
ruled.
so the wording is a creature spends 1 extra movement or 1 extra foot for every 5 feet of movement, essentially. It's not technically difficult terrain.
So it's less than difficult terrain.
It's strange. We also have disadvantage on attack rolls and disadvantage on dexterity saving throws when squeezing.
Okay.
Let's see.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Yes.
He's not squeezing where he is, I don't think, because of the size of the room.
Yeah. Not yet.
So. Yeah. I was holding my action.
All right. What is the trigger for your held action?
Once Morte's turn's done.
Okay. Okay. Once Morte's turn is done. Okay. Gotcha. Cool. Fanatic. Doesn't look very good for them, does it?
No, it sure doesn't.
No.
Yeah, it really does not.
I'm surprised they're still there.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's just because we haven't been focusing them at all. We've just been ignoring them mostly.
To be fair, they really haven't been doing a whole lot back to you, so I don't blame you at all for that.
It's like, oh, hi, I forgot about you.
And what is it like a CR1?
They're CR
3?
2, technically.
2.
Still, for level 12 characters, cannon fodder.
It's basically cannon fodder. Yeah, essentially. Let's see. I
should have turned my cannon on them.
You know what? Actually, you know what? Actually, this guy will actually do something valuable for once. He will raise his shield icon, the sword icon, the black sword icon, and he will start chanting towards Levistus. And Avarice will gain a little bit of a shield, a little icy mantle around her, a shield of faith, if you will. So he will do something useful. These two are scared. You are technically large. You know what? It's gonna fail anyway. But actually, you would see back here too.
Reveal tool work. Oh, look at
it worked this time. So I do need you to make an athletics check, but it's gonna work because they're both gonna try and grab you.
All right. This is neutral because I have Giant Smite and Reduce active at the same time.
Okay.
So that should just have been the first number. It shouldn't have been with advantage. Sorry.
Right. No, that's
Excellent.
fine. Because you know me. I take the one that's on the left anyway, so it's all good. So yeah, they try and like pull you to grab you to try and keep you from running after Avarice, but to no avail. It's Flynn's turn.
Anyway, even if they did, he's got freedom of movement on him still.
It's true.
Hey, if Valen were to lightning bolt straight downward, she wouldn't hit any of her allies.
You're right, she wouldn't. In fact, it's very funny that you say that. And she will crack her knuckles and just stare towards Avarice. Honey, this has been a long time coming. And she will clap her hands, and that bolt of lightning will start to spark in her hands. I think you know what this means. Avarice? 8d6. Avarice needs to make a dexterity saving throw. She has no reaction. She can't counterspell.
So the faith doesn't help her?
No, it does not. 17. Okay, she will pass, but it's still half damage. All right. That's Valen's turn. Hawks, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, considering that I'm not concerned about squeezing anymore, I will drop concentration on Reduce.
Alrighty.
And with that, I will try to finish these two guys off. This top guy is pretty weak. I might just use another roar just because. Might as well.
So when you drop concentration on reduced, you go back to being huge.
Yes.
Then you'd be squeezing again.
Yes.
So you'd have
But
disadvantage on attack rolls, and the roll would put you at neutral.
yes.
Okay.
But
That's a lot to consider with this character.
Indeed, with all the new implications.
Yeah.
Of
well,
being
I will try
big.
to bop the top guy and finish him off. 22 for 12.
Alright, that will be enough as he gets sliced in two.
And the bottom guy will make 2 attacks against. 18 for 8, a 19 for 10, and I have a d8 to throw in there. For 2 more, so 20 damage total.
20 total damage, eh? Alright. A good chunk. But not quite enough.
That's fine. And that'll be my turn.
Alrighty. So, with that, Morte looks at this guy, looks at Avarice, looks at this guy, looks at Avarice. I can hit you both. Morte leans in to the cultist. As she goes in for a strike.
Oh my goodness.
Mmm, delicious.
Oh.
Deleted.
Without even looking back, Morte just straight up using the momentum to turn around, just cleaves the cultist's head off, and then with that same momentum, just lunges over to the now no longer Shield of Faith Avarice.
Right, I was gonna say that's gone now.
Yep.
I can hit you both. Is the one under Muerte still there, or is that one
No, he's dead.
long dead?
He's dead.
Okay.
I should have put the X on, but Morte was over.
That's why.
So all 3 of those guys are dead?
They are now all dead.
The only ones left alive are the one in the pool of bones and the one next to Hawks. And then, of course, Avarice. And her gargoyle.
Right. That is another natural 20 because of the blood frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
Making that 17 points of slashing damage.
Blanca dashing through the snow.
Muerte Blanca seeking out her foe with a flash of her beak, her claws like a streak. Muerte Blanca, Muerte Blanca. She truly is the terror of the tundra. It's Avarice's turn again. She's looking real rough.
But before that,
Before that, at the end of Muerte's turn, you were holding an action
to cast silence.
to cast silence. Correct.
And by the way, Misty Step is a vocal component.
I am aware.
Rude.
I am very aware of this.
She's like, huh? Why didn't my spell go off?
Well, she know. Well, she won't.
Well,
do
she'd
it
have
by
heard me
accident.
casting.
And plus,
She would
now
have
that
heard
now
me
she
cast
knows
it.
there's silence there, so she knows what's up. So,
Right.
but I don't know if she can really do a whole lot about it because it's their turn. She's incapacitated.
She can
Is
walk
incapacitated until the end of her turn?
Yeah, she can.
until the end, until the start of my turn.
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah. It's stupid. I
She-
can perma incapacitate people.
She's surrounded on all sides. She has nowhere left to run. Seeing the danger all closing in, she has nothing left to do
But cry.
but cry. But the sound of her cry makes no
Is
sound. She is like reaching out to both to Valin first, who turns away from her, reaching out to you, Hawks, giving out silent pleas that will fall on deaf ears. But she has no sound
Well-
to give.
We're not deaf. She's just mute.
Semantics, details.
Valin and Skanuk are deaf, and Muerte.
You don't know something really interesting?
Yeah. What's interesting?
He doesn't need to hear me for this to work.
That is actually kind of funny.
I imagine it's like aggressive hand gestures.
All right, so is that your turn?
Oh yeah, that was the that
Held
was Caleb's
action.
turn. Okay.
Oh, right. Scales, it's your turn. Because that's right, because they're unsettling words. Yeah, that's why I asked, though. It wasn't the held action, because at that point, Scales had did the unsettling words.
Okay.
See, that's just
Vile.
vile. Now
Current
she's already
incapac-
incapacitated, so it won't really stack here.
No,
It'll last
she's
until his
done.
next turn.
The incapacitation. She's incapacitated until the start of my next turn. It's the start of my next turn, so she's not incapacitated anymore. So I can stack it.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. You're correct. It doesn't matter though. She did succeed this time. However, I think it's not.
Yeah, it's not going to save her.
It's not gonna save her. She still takes half damage.
She has reactions now. If
She does have
she's
reactions.
in
True.
Silence. Counterspell might not work in the silence. I don't know.
Counterspell doesn't work in silence.
She has other things, but well.
Fair enough. Shield might not work in silence.
No,
also.
no,
I
it's
don't-
just something.
might be.
So that's 11.
All right, looking real rough. All right, so that's the gargoyle's turn. Will it do anything useful this turn? No, it will not.
I forgot all about him.
See, it's okay. So did he. He's laughing so hard he forgot what he was even down here for. Skidduck.
He's forgotten who he is.
Well, he was going to maybe try and save Avarice, but I don't think that's happening anymore because he's laughing too hard.
Villain is just sitting there concentrating on the spell, going, "What was I concentrating? Oh yeah, that guy back there."
Yeah, Villain is really helping out here in that case.
Yeah.
Skidduck, it's your
So-
turn.
Yeah, I'm going to
Sad.
realize that I can't actually cast magic in this silence. I'm going to start walking this way.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, you have out.
Lucky. Yep. Luckily, that will stop me. And then I'm going to try and finish Avarice off.
All right.
Spell at advantage. Firebolt is arguably just better than most other spells at this point. Kind of terrifying. That'll be 21 fire damage,
Owie.
backed up by a further 4, so 25 total.
25 total. Okay, so she can technically do something here. Technically. In her last bits of moment, she looks pleading, but then realizing she will receive no mercy, it suddenly dawns on her. So she does the only thing she can do. Do one last bit of revenge. One last thing to hurt you, even if it will end up being completely fruitless. It's the only thing that she can do left. I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me. And she will use an ability called Banishing Rebuke.
Interesting.
It is not a
Let's
spell,
see.
it is an ability.
Oof.
Okay, so it will actually work. So, you are incapacitated. And it's very cold where you are. You find yourself next to, you're just in like a block of ice in like some strange dimension. And you see there is another guy who's also there in a block of ice just going, "Hey, what are you in for?"
Set someone on fire.
Ah, that tracks. I died, my soul got sent to the hells. Now I'm here for all eternity.
Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. And while that happens, that's all she can use as a reaction. So Sunak is temporarily gone.
Ooh. Let's see. Bonus action. I probably can't. If I'm incapacitated, I probably can't
Yeah,
Commander
Can't take
can.
actions or reactions.
Fair enough. No bonus action for me then.
And
It'll
it's
just
like,
sit
Mike,
there
if you're
menacingly.
gonna incapacitate my NPC, I'll incapacitate your PCs.
look, it's all like
Eh,
it's my revenge, damn it.
it's a fair call.
It is. And he got to do his action before he got incapacitated, so it's not like he lost his
True.
turn.
Yep. Meepo,
Once you
you're concentrating on silence.
Concentrating on silence. That's concentration. That's not helpful. That's concentration. Concentration. Anybody look like they need healing?
Muerte does look somewhat hurt.
Muerte does.
Yeah.
I guess I am hurt. Do I have any potions? I'm gonna check for potions. I have pythons, which looks like potions when you're glancing at it.
No.
It's most of the
Same
same
thing.
letters.
Titans are nothing close to potions.
Yeah, but the spelling of the word.
The spelling, sure. Oh, my throat. Ow.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I was looking at my list and I was like, oh, potion. Oh, pythons. It's like when you're trying to roll persuasion and you roll performance or something.
You alright, Evan?
Yeah.
I guess I'll just
swallowed it really hurt.
Ooh, good.
Continue. Sorry.
That Rona got you.
I'll just cast Cure Wounds on myself, I guess.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, is that your turn?
That'll be my turn, yeah.
Alright. How many
10.
cultists are left? 1,
Yeah.
2. Their devotion is eternal, but this guy up here, I will say you recognize that this cultist seems a lot younger than the other ones, and he's just like, he suddenly just kind of like drops his knife and just kind of like runs against the wall. This guy though, just kind of looks at him. You coward! Fight to the death! And he will try and stab you, Hawks, but I don't think it's gonna work. No.
Nope.
You just, like, you don't even have to, like, bring up your shield. He just kind of, like, gets the knife stuck in, like, a belt buckle on, like, your armor. Like, and he tries to, like, thrust it in, and he's just like, and you don't even feel it. Don't even feel a thing. It is now Valin's turn. She strides up to Avarice. She flexes. She will unglove one of her hands. Flex it. She can't cast any spells, because most of her stuff is verbal. But that's okay.
She can disrespect Avarice with a slap to the face.
That's exactly what she's going to do.
Is there gonna be a cat fight in the quiet of this little bubble of silence?
No, it's not a cat fight. She's going for a full-forced punch, and Avarice does manage to block it, and she kind of like, Avarice kind of grabs her wrist, and like, they both kind of get into a small tussle.
Cat fight.
It's not a cat.
I know.
Hawksagnon.
I'm gonna trust Muerte to end that scuffle, and I will just continue the boppening. Still have the advantage carrying over, countering my disadvantage from the roar last turn. So I will just continue the boppening.
And the boppening shall continue. How would you like to end this last cult fanatic?
With the boppening. It's very important to get the boppening done.
Yeah, you don't even... It's not even enough to, like, just slice him. You disrespect him, you just turn the blade over and just hit him full force with the blunt end of the axe. Just dong! And not even that, he just gets knocked flat on the ground, just bones crushed. And he is dead. So. Is that your turn, Hawks?
Yeah, for now it is.
Alright, that means it is Muerte, Terror of the Tundra's turn. As Muerte leans in close to Avarice and mouths something, but obviously she can't be heard.
I wish I had that feat that lets you read lips.
Doesn't
Observer.
have lips.
That's true, she doesn't. She has a beak.
Yeah, so it just goes mop, 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 mop. But she will attack twice, with advantage. And hit both times.
Somebody turn on the dub. Or, I mean the sub.
The dub.
The sub.
So that is 10 points of slashing damage. As Muerte will leap up on Avarice, strike her to the ground with a body check. And with that, as Avarice is knocked to the ground, Muerte will take Avarice's neck in her beak, lift her up in the air, and just crunch, snapping Avarice's neck.
She has leveled up from axe beak to guillotine beak.
Mm-hmm. And with that, Avarice, leader of the cult of the Black Sword, servant of the Archdevil Levistus, is dead.
I will let Muerte have a final word by dropping silence.
This woman is iced.
Ooh. That's funny because Levistus is gonna freeze her soul for eternity.
Indeed, as you watch the body slowly being frozen over, as do all the other bodies.
I mean, I knew we did this to try and get them to chill out, but it's a bit much.
Don't give me
So,
the cold shoulder now, Velen will wink. I did my part, and she will reach up and pick up the Staff of Frost that Avarice was wielding. Well, this is mine now.
I'd check that out
Yoink.
before using it.
I think it should be fine.
It'll be fine.
Alright. You over there, kiddo.
Yes?
Do you want to follow Eldath instead of Levistus?
I shouldn't be talking to you, but I don't feel as if I have a choice.
That's not what I asked.
I know it's not what you asked. No, please don't kill me.
I'm a pacifist. You heard me say that earlier.
Yes, I know that you're a pacifist, but your friends aren't.
You're right.
That is fair.
The big one's coming towards the big one's coming towards me.
Hawks, would you just mind just standing still a bit?
He's definitely a pacifist. A pacifist through your face.
Right, he is that.
I'm not a fan.
Right.
Oh, I'm just here to find a peaceful resolution. Frankly, if the world would be more peaceful with you under my boot,
No.
then that's what I'm going to have to do.
No.
Okay, sounds like you really like peace now, huh?
Yes. I'm a fan of peace, and love, and a nice knucklehead trout soup. Everyone loves knucklehead trout soup, right?
It is delicious, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to force you to follow Eldath if you don't want to.
That's fine. I feel like I've made a terrible mistake. I just want to go home to my mom.
That's what I wanted to hear. I'm going to ask Eldath to release you from the service of Levistus.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can do that.
I can do that. I get a good roll.
Alright, roll a 1d100. I swear, if this is the one that actually gets it. Oh my god!
Yeah, buddy!
Around. It makes so much sense that it would be this that it works for.
Right, I've just been asking for all these random things, and this is where Eldath really shines.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, this one actually makes perhaps one of the most sense. Yeah. You watch as a pair of icy hands appear on the boy's shoulders. This soul is mine. You cannot take him from me. But then you feel a presence behind your shoulder.
It's his.
You feel a hand press on your shoulder, Meepo. A very soft, gentle hand. And you feel
smell that.
Eldath's will with you. And it's funny that Eldath's presence would appear in a pool of calm, still water. As you suddenly feel the presence beckon this young boy into the pool, he slowly walks. No, you're mine. You cannot escape me. There was a deal was struck. You cannot. No. As the frozen hands are drawn into the pool, and the pool freezes over. And the boy starts suddenly beginning to breathe as if there was a vice around his neck. And you watch as the black sword around his neck, around the necklace on the black sword, shatters. And you watch as him blink a couple times. And you saw that he was kind of like looking at you in like a strangely cold way. But then you suddenly see the tears start to pour down on his eyes. Oh, Mom, I want my mom. I'm such a bad son.
We'll get you home. For now, I'd get back to the entrance to the city and go hang out with the dryad there. There's also a penguin.
A penguin?
You'll get it when you see him.
Kind of wipes his nose. I thank you. You didn't have to do that for me.
No,
Why did you?
but I wanted to. That's why I asked.
He looks
Anyway, here's Cookie.
Oh, oh, sweet. And he just kind of like he's like, oh, hey, Cookie. He just straight up eats it.
Weren't expecting that, were you?
That wasn't laced, was it?
Laced. It was iced. Actually, maybe that's a bad phrasing. Frosted? No, that still doesn't work. It had
Decorated.
sugary confection on it.
I just want to go home to Bremen, see my mom, Cora. Do you know a woman named Cora?
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
It is familiar, actually.
She's the one that runs the inn, right?
Oh, yeah. And you remember a long time ago, she told you that she was worried because she was missing her son, who disappeared.
We just
Oh,
finished
my
the
lord.
first quest.
You finished the first quest?
It's happening!
That's why I said it was fitting, because it was this person that you divine interventioned on.
Mm.
And on that note, I'm going to end this session a wee bit early tonight, because I'm feeling just slightly under the weather.
That's okay. I think ending with a miracle is a great way to go.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree.
That's most.
What a
That's the most
great.
fitting.
That's nice right there. You kill off an annoying enemy, and you divine intervention a soul away from being eternally damned. What more could you want, really? It's pretty solid.
What more can you ask for?
Alrighty. So, thank you all so much for watching, and wherever you are, I hope you're having yourself a great time. Stay safe out there, and keep your distance, get your vaccines, get your boosters, otherwise you end up like me. Even though I was so careful during the whole pandemic, 2 years I was safe. 2 years I got my vaccine, I kept my distance. So make sure you're all Make sure you're all safe.
Wash your hands.
Yes, wash your hands.
Brush your teeth. That won't help any necessarily, but you should do it anyway.
Doesn't
And
hurt.
It doesn't hurt. Alrighty. Okay, bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.